guys, welcome to Light Screening, the channel for movie lovers more than movie savvies, and today we're going to be talking about a movie with a freakishly long title. It's called Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of one Harley Quinn. Now, before I get into it, let me do just this kind of disclaimer. There are more people online doing reviews on movies from Marvel and DC than any other genre or studios. So this is probably going to be one more review on this movie. So there are going to probably be thousands, with one little difference, is that I am not an expert on DC. I am not an expert on Marvel. I couldn't care less about their feud war. I do not know if Harley Quinn was revamped in 1993. I know a little bit, but you are not going to hear those kinds of details in this review. So what you are going to hear about is a movie from the point of view of a moviegoer. I couldn't care less about the details of the comic books. I couldn't care less about the superheroes, anti-heroes, and the whole feud war between those studios. I am just a moviegoer. I'm not even a fan of the genre, okay? But I do admit that there are good movies in every genre, and that is why I keep watching movies and I keep trying to find them. And this is the reason why I watched this movie, not because I'm a fan of heroes, anti-heroes, DC, Marvel, whatever, okay? But let me just say one more thing, and you can insult me and agree with me and whatever. From that war between DC and Marvel, if you ask me from what I've seen, and I haven't seen everything at all, okay? This is my point of view of a moviegoer, period. I think the characters that I've seen in DC are a little more interesting than the characters that I've seen in Marvel. But I've seen good movies in both. So, you know, if you ask me, and that's why I'm giving this character a chance, I dug some characters from DC. So this is a DC movie, and it's about what? It's about Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn, after her breakup with the Joker, Harley Quinn goes through this self-discovery phase, or better said, she goes through the discovery of life without the protection of the Master of Crime. Okay, so she has some other four ladies that are helping her in this discovery. Let's say it like that. At least the trailer shows us as a chick movie, you know. Kind of shows us that it's going to be these four women coming together, and the four women are Black Canary, played by Jurnee Smollett-Bell, the Huntress, played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Renee Montoya, played by Rosie Perez. So obviously Harley Quinn is played by the beautiful Margot Robbie. Not the first time that she's played it. We'll get into that. So there is also a bad guy. The bad guy is called Roman Sionis. He's played by Ewan McGregor. And there is this little kid that Harley Quinn kind of gets mixed up with and ends up protecting, or maybe not. We'll get into that as well, or maybe not, because it's a spoiler. The kid's name is Cassandra Cain, and she's played by Jay Basco. So this is the cast. The director is Cathy Yan. She did Dead Pigs, According to My Mother. I haven't seen anything from this director before at all, so there you have it. The writers are Christina Hodson. She did Bumblebee and Unforgettable. Obviously, Harley Quinn is based on a character created by Paul Dini and Bruce Timm. So apparently, Harley Quinn showed up for the first time in 1992, in September 1992, in Batman the animated series for TV. Later on, she jumped into comic books a year later in the Batman Adventures number 12, the comic book. So this is as far as I can go with those details, so don't ask me anything else. What do I, Gisela Cruz, what do I know about this movie? I know that Harley Quinn played Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie played Harley Quinn before. When did she play Harley Quinn before? She played it in Suicide Squad, a movie by David Ayer, in 2016. Margot Robbie and David Ayer are actually producers in this movie. so back in Suicide Squad, they let me tell you what I know. I know that the movie by David Ayer, and because I was following him at the time, the movie Suicide Squad was completely promoted premiere. It was completely promoted based on the image of the Joker. Okay, the Joker was played by Jared Leto. Probably you know this. It was different. It was very very strong visually. It was different, and the whole movie, and like for weeks or months before the movie, we got bombarded by images of the Joker. Later on, in the final cut of Suicide Squad, and because of some screen tests that apparently considered the Joker a little too far out or something like that, the final cut of that movie ended up showing 10 minutes of the Joker. So that's all Jared Leto got in that movie. He got ripped off, clearly. Margot Robbie, however, was part of the Suicide Squad, so she had a little bit more of airplay, and she stole that movie. Now, this cast was a very big cast. It was a cast with Will Smith, Jared Leto, as I said, and Cara Delevingne. She stole it, okay? Hands down, Margot Robbie just stole that movie from all of those people, and she absolutely deserves to play Harley Quinn again. Now, at the time, and because the final cut wasn't what these two characters expected, these two actors expected, Margot Robbie and Jared Leto, they were promised that there would be another movie with the footage from that one that would portray their love, the love of the characters, Harley Quinn and the Joker. That clearly didn't happen, okay? Why didn't it happen? Because the other Joker, the Joker that's been winning all the awards, you know, with the one with Joaquin Phoenix, it was actually it was granted a budget. It was actually granted a very small budget so that the director would back off. He didn't. He pushed forward. He did that movie. And so this movie with the Joker from Jared Leto fell through and it didn't get made. So this is what happened. Obviously, Margot Robbie and David Ayer are smart people, and they decided to bank on Harley Quinn because Harley Quinn did get the airplay, and she did, and the character did get the attention, and people wanted more from her. And so they did this one instead. So this is a story of this movie that I know. If I'm saying something that is not correct, please correct me. This is what I followed back in the day, and what I've been reading as well. So through the time, I didn't read it to do this review at all. This is what I already knew. So obviously, this movie and the way it's been promoted, it's a very post-Me Too movement. It's about emancipation of women. Now, I can't say that the movie is all about that because you kind of know where it's going. You know that these women are going to come together, but that's not what the movie is about. That is what ends up happening, okay? So it's not exactly what the trailer portrays. It was for promotion reasons that trailer got made, and it's very well made, let me say. But it ends up being walking towards that. And even if we know that, getting into the movie theater, the story doesn't lose interest. Let me say this. So let me just say that what I didn't like so much, and it's just one small little detail, it's that in nowhere in that movie is the psychological background of Harley Quinn is the aftermath of a psychologist who falls in love with the mastermind of crime, the Joker. So there is no trace in the writing of that psychological background, okay? In the writing, she's just a little girl completely lost after a breakup. She just crashes and burns like we all do, without any conscience, any better knowledge of the human mind, okay? That kind of, like, she seems too dummy, let's say, too lost to have a doctorate in psychology. But that's the one thing that I'm questioning. and that maybe I've questioned about this character all along. But other than that, the writing is pretty damn good. Why do I say this? It's very down to earth in dialogues. I don't mean in what happens. This is a story about an anti-hero, so it's as crazy as a hero, as a superhero story. Correct? The events that happen. It's all big and all like with bells and whistles, if you know what I mean, with bling in this case. But it's in the emotions that it portrays and in the dialogues that it has and the way that the characters behave is very down to earth. I would say even raw. Okay, it's very honest in that aspect. I kind of wasn't expecting that, and it kind of, I felt that it was worth watching because of that. I felt that this was a kids movie and it would be flashy and all of that, but not necessarily very in depth. And this surprised me because it's pretty raw in human emotion, in what people say and how they say it. Pretty raw, pretty honest. So that is a kudos to Christina Hodson. What else? Costume design by Erin Benak. Wow, very flashy, very crazy, very out there, very as the character demands, as the comic book story demands. Very, I wouldn't say unforgettable, but pretty damn close. So kudos to that too. The whole art direction, I think, and set direction and all of that, set composition, all of that, all the art part. Very out there, very flashy, very in your face, but it's so appropriate for the character and for the comic book style that I think was very cool, very cool. The editing, the rhythm of the movie, so cool. Back to the writing, because it also serves the editing and the editing serves the writing. It's not a linear story, so it's from the voice of Harley Quinn, and she goes like, oh wait, I forgot to tell you something. We go back and then, oh, but in this you need to know another detail, and we go into another side of the story. And that is interesting because it's not linear, it's not boring. You're always on your feet and you're always getting more information, and it's always something happening, and it's very interesting rhythm wise. It's the writing and it's the editing, and I think that they did a great job. Cinematography as well, flashy, strong. These are it's Matthew Libatique, quite experienced. The editing is Jay Cassidy and Evan Schiff, experienced people. They did very good movies. Just check them out. Very good. Another thing that is pretty damn good. That's my cat actually sneezing. Oh my god. I have 4 cats and a dog and a turtle. Yeah, that's who I live with. 4 cats, a dog, and a turtle. That's my family. I got 2 cats here and a dog. So if you hear anything, that's what's happening. They're pretty well behaved actually today. Anyway, what was I saying? Another thing that I loved was the music. The music. There was music composed specifically for this movie, and there was also obviously songs that were brought into this soundtrack. I loved it. I think I'm gonna buy it. Quite surprisingly, because it's not my thing, it's not my genre, it's not what I like best, but I was very enthusiastic about the music. I thought it served the purpose very well. So in short, I thought I was getting a kids movie, you know, fast, irreverent, flashy. I got a little more than that, which surprised me, and I loved that. I was very entertained by this movie. I gotta be honest with you. Really, I thought it was great writing, great rhythm, great art, visually very busy and very flashy and very intense, like it's supposed to be for this kind of movie, I think. So, and great soundtrack, as I said. So, kudos to Cathy Yan. I had never seen a movie by Cathy Yan. I think there was a little bit of a sort of an anime feel to it. Not that I know anime that well, but what I've seen from it, from the cartoons and from the TV series and all of that, there's a bit of anime in this movie, of a bit of a vibe like that. So I dug it, surprisingly. Not my cup of tea at all, but altogether I really had fun. And I love this character. So kudos to Margot Robbie for stealing the show back in 2016 in Suicide Squad. And kudos to her for producing this movie as well. I think she's got a brain on that head. I'm a fan of her. And pretty cool results. So hands up, go to the movies and go watch this one. Oh my god. I'm sorry. So what is the blast from the past? Obviously Suicide Squad. If you haven't seen it, check it out. You know, not the best movie you can watch at all. The final cut is kind of disappointing, to be honest, not because the love story between the Joker and Margot Robbie got cut out, but because they kind of took an easy way out. It became predictable. I don't know. I think it was in the final cut that kind of lost a little bit of its artistry. Probably David Ayer had to compromise some of his views. That's my take on it. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Check it out. Tell me what you think. I think it's worth watching anyway because, again, Margot Robbie, this was not an A-lister at the time, okay? She did good movies before that, but she was not an A-lister. This is when she became an A-lister. So it's worth watching. It's got Will Smith. They're good. It's a really great cast. So even if the movie's not up to par with the cast, it's worth watching. And it's worth watching the birth of this character into the movies. Probably I'm saying something that is not right. Probably this character showed up in some other movies that I'm not an expert on. But quite honestly, I think Margot Robbie became an A-lister with Suicide Squad. There is a lot of interest, even to understand the character of the Joker and what people are saying about it now that the Joker has another take on it. Just check it out because it's worth watching anyway, okay? So go to the movies and thanks for watching. It's a long video. I had a lot to say, surprisingly. But thank you for staying with me. Subscribe, share, comment, because if you don't, there's no point in doing this. So help me out because I'm terrible at self-promotion, okay? So share and comment and tell me what you think about these characters, about the whole Marvel and DC feud war and the whole thing. If I'm saying something wrong, correct me. Go to the movies, people. Thanks for watching.